Hello, everybody, and welcome
Hello.
back to Gear Gaming 365's Descent into Avernus. Say hello,
Hey.
everybody.
Howdy.
Hello,
Howdy.
everybody.
Thank you very much for joining us this evening in the wonderful world of Dungeons and Dragons along the Sea of Swords at Candlekeep. As where I remember correctly, our group had left off just temporarily. They were sitting around in a bar called the Hearth at Candlekeep. They had been sitting around talking to an ogre with a headband of intellect on. His name was Little One, and he was kind of letting the characters know some information about him. They were talking to him about his past, but they were kind of given the idea that they could get rooms in the main keep. I think we kind of glossed over a little bit of what transpired there. I think we just left you guys at the bar, if I remember correctly. Okay.
Yeah, we were still in the middle of conversing with Littlefoot.
Little
one.
Little one. Yeah. He.
And before time.
We'll go ahead and fast forward a little bit here, do a little hand wave, and say that you guys enjoyed your evening meal. Little One will pay for your food and drinks for the night, which just because of your conversation with him and being social with him, he will call over a little squire or monk who's gonna be able to show you to some guest quarters within the main keep itself. Give you each your own little, we'll say, 8x10 room, essentially with a bed. They're monks' rooms, so there's not very much in there, to tell you the truth. But it's got the functions.
Bed's a bed.
Yeah, bed's a bed. You guys can gain the benefits of a long rest, so if there was anything that you had spent during the day, you can regain that. You were each, right before you went to bed, told by the monk that dropped you off at your rooms that if you wanted to meet down in the main gathering hall of the main keep the following morning, he would arrange for someone to be your guide while you were at Candlekeep.
Sounds good.
So that's pretty much where we'll leave off, or we'll pick up rather for today. Leave off, pick up, start today. So let's see. Let's move into some sort of townsy music here. Early morning, dawns arrives towards Candlekeep, finds you all fed and well rested within the walls of Candlekeep, which happens to be the new book that Dungeons and Dragons is releasing, so I'm excited to see it.
Yes.
That'll be really good information to have.
Another yawning portal style book.
It'd be mostly interesting to find out things about Candlekeep itself, because being a longtime D&D player, this place has got some lore behind it. So I'll be excited because I've known this place for probably 30 plus years.
I mean, not a long time D&D, but a long time Baldur's Gate, the original one. You start in Candlekeep.
Nice.
So I have a thing for Candlekeep as well. So I'm excited.
You wake up in your little monk's rooms, early morning light shining through the windows wakes you up. Hustle bustle of the streets out and about.
I think I had a frog in my throat. Ugh.
Yo, that sounds disgusting.
Don your armor.
Yeah.
Probably leave your weapons in the room if you want. You can leave your armor in the room if you want. There's no real need for that sort of thing here, but it's up to you.
Are we will it look bad on us if we choose to carry our weapons?
Alright, roll an insight.
Kind of curious about this too.
Go ahead and roll an insight. Okay. So, Robin, for you, where came from, it's not so much a social faux pas, having to constantly be on the lookout for the Nottingham, and the fact that he could probably be anywhere. You feel like nobody would judge you harshly if you were to wear your weapons and armor. It would be more of a personal choice. You suspect, however, that you don't have any real need for any sort of all of your gear at a very least. You know, it's not like you can come back here at any time. Jag, you yourself, you've got your normal clothes. You're barbarians. You don't wear armor. And
Yeah, I mainly just want to carry my new sword as like not, just because like to be able to maybe chat with it or see if it has any insight or on anything.
You realize that you are in one of the world's largest repository, well, at least this realm's largest repository of knowledge. So this would be a very good place to find out knowledge about things. In fact, as you are getting ready to leave your room, you've got your sword strapped to your back. Last minute, you grab the shield.
Okay.
Take the shield with you, just as like, maybe I can learn something about this.
Luca's just gonna rock in his clothes. I will keep my wand with me, but my roguish tools will stay behind.
Whoever put something in the general chat of Descent, if I go check that out, then I'm gonna screw up the recording, so I'll have to check it out later. If it's not something.
Nope,
It was just.
that's a sidebar between myself and Peyton.
He just saw the Catman just now.
That's why I was laughing as hard as I was.
That's good. That's good. But yeah, you guys all come out of your rooms. I'd say roughly or about the same time.
Morning.
So it is.
I usually wear my leather armor under my clothes, just as a thing, so I'm still gonna have it on because I don't feel like it's necessarily visible.
Okay.
Like under my traveling clothes.
So we're here to figure out this thing, shaking the puzzle box. Correct?
Yes.
Well,
Need to
Affirmative.
find Silvira at the keep.
well, let's look for someone that looks self-important and ask them for directions.
You guys remember the way down towards the main hall. It's essentially a large, like, open area in the keep itself, and a lot of the doors and the little, like, wings kind of go off of this particular area. Big, huge arched ceilings. Think Library of Congress style with the staircases that go up multiple levels to different various wings of the libraries, to different towers and stuff like that. And there's probably a good 75 to 100 people coming and going through the main thoroughfare there. So it's a very busy area. Let's get a group perception check.
Oh
Did Rhea come in with us?
Rhea came in with you. She did not join you guys until right this moment in time, as she kind of runs up. She's sorry. I wasn't sure whether or not I should wear my armor. As she looks from each one of you, you realize that she's not wearing any of her armor. She doesn't have her weapons on or anything like that. So.
I'm just my bow.
It seems like a safe enough place. I wouldn't worry.
As Robin, you are just kind of overwhelmed by the amount of people kind of coming to and fro. Luca, you're just, wow, there's a lot of people kind of going around. Jag, you spot a familiar-looking individual kind of standing still, probably about 30 feet off to the right-hand side. You can make out Penn. And the first thing you notice about Penn is his unusual haircut, and he's wearing new clothes.
Are they robes?
They are robes.
Oh gosh.
I will. It looks like one of our companions is gonna make this place a permanent home, and I'll point out Penn to the rest of the group.
He's just standing there. He's got his hands folded on his chest, kind of like tapping his thumbs. He's just looking around.
I'll start walking in that direction.
I'll follow.
I will as well.
As you guys approach Penn, he gets really excited, and he kind of stands up straight a little bit, and he checks his new tunic, and he kind of like wipes it off. You see some crumbs fall. You know,
I'm gonna go like gently brush some of the crumbs off of him.
He looks down, he looks back up at you, and he smiles. So I decided to stay.
Say that again, Penn?
I decided to stay?
You decided to stay?
Yeah.
I kind of guessed that.
Yeah,
It looks good on you.
Well, thanks. They had orientation last night, and, well, I attended it, so, I'm gonna be your guide.
Great.
If you just started here, how would you make a good guide?
I'm pretty smart. Yeah. And
have
you
you seen
see like
Jello?
this big piece of paper kind of like sticking out of a pocket on his side, and he kind of is like trying to shove it back in so you don't see it.
What is
Come on,
that?
Jag. He did the orientation. If he completed it, he's got to be a smart lad.
I got you. Don't worry. What
Does his shoving this back down look suspicious at all? Like,
you can catch that it's probably like an informational guide, like maybe a brochure of some sort. Like, he's got it with him.
He has a pamphlet.
Yeah, you know, you at least caught an image of like the last few letters of keep on it, and then like maybe it looked like a map, perhaps, of Candlekeep itself. I've sworn myself to the service of the god Denier.
That's much better than what you swore your service to the last time.
Well,
So
Joe didn't take it so well. He spent the night drinking, but that's what he wanted to do, so I let him.
we
So,
need to go to the keep.
well, this is the keep. And he
Okay.
kind of like gestures grandly all around him, to the roof around. It was built in 1654 DR, and ever since the first monks of knowledge came here, they have been collecting books and amassing the world's largest library of knowledge in all of Toriel. I think that's how you say it. Do you remember who it is that you have to go see?
Silvira.
Who brought a baby to the library?
Oh, I'm fairly certain that that's that Tor over there. Yeah, yeah, that's them.
How inconsiderate.
Well,
Anyway,
they have families here too, you know. Some of the monks, they spend their lives here and doing research, and some monks get married and some monks don't. It depends on the holy order that you've sworn your service to, or the
thought
god.
monks had a square life of celibacy.
Well, some of them do, and some of them don't. Luckily, mine, I don't have to.
That's good, because a ladies' man like yourself, I wouldn't want
Oh,
having to.
oh. He like turns bright red at that, and he starts walking towards one of the stone staircases leading up to the second floor, and he's He's gesturing for you all to follow. He's not like waiting for anybody to get out of his way, but he's a really large individual, so like people are having to just like move around him, and he's just like beelining it straight towards the stairs. So it's like one of the best tour guides or like lead men you can have.
Great. We'll be right behind him.
Okay. He takes you up the stone stairs, and on this level here is where a lot of research is done in the necromancy arts, but that's mostly over here to this wing, and that wing over there is a little bit of the alchemy arts. They separate those two wings because dead and boom. Guess they don't mix, something like that. That's the joke my professor told me anyway. And then if we continue up these stone stairs, and he's just rambling about this section of the tunnel was made by the great architect Fallister in like 1693 or something like that, if I remember correctly. It depicts the frescoes of the first men that came upon the world of Torel when it was the world of elves and dwarves.
You learned a lot in that orientation.
Well, it was... I couldn't sleep, and I don't know what it was. I just found myself wandering the corridors, and I came across a room, and they invited me in. They gave me cookies, which were really good. He reaches into his robe and pulls out a couple of cookies, like trying to like hand them
good.
to you. And this over here, this is the statue of one of the founding monks, Ulysses S. Monkus. And he helped found the knowledge and was the first donator of a book. And if we take this stairwell in this particular keep, we will reach Silvirus's study without very much difficulty. He takes you up like
Perfect.
several stories of a circular staircase and a spire. And eventually he comes to a large floor, and there's several doors on this floor. He walks past the first 3 doors, and as he comes to the 4th door, he stops and he knocks respectfully, and he kind of like motions you all to catch up a little bit. And
So many stairs.
yes, I'm having trouble with the stairs. I think I might stay on the ground floor from now on in. The walls of this circular tower chamber, as the door opens up, you are greeted by a very large wizard's laboratory. The walls of this circular... Uno momento, I lost my place. There it is.
Oh.
Circular tower chamber are punctuated by arched windows that are currently shuttered. Bookcases filled with eldritch volumes stand between the windows, while tables are crowded with specimen jars, alchemical equipment, and other clutter. Engraved into the floor of the chamber is a large, 9-pointed star. A middle-aged tiefling, dressed in wizardly robes, stands by one of the windows, caught in a fugue of intense contemplation. Perched on the corner of a table nearby is a spindly little demon with warty green skin, buggy eyes, thick black horns, and a whip-like tail. Tiefling stops. I can't tell you how pleased I am to see you. What have you brought me? Penn says, Silvira, Savicus, Jag, Jaga, Longstrider, Luca, Tordowski, Occult Investigator, and Robin of Shorewood Forest, along with Marion, her pet. Silvirus says, Yes, initiate. Very well, thank you for bringing them to our chambers. You may be dismissed. Come find me if there's anything else you need.
Catch you on
Sure
the
thing.
ground floor.
He kind of bows out and closes the door behind him. Silvira, she turns and looks to you and says, "Well, how can I help you? What have you brought me?"
What's with the demon?
"Oh, my familiar?"
Interesting company, but I digress.
"Oh, that's Jezebel. Provides me with just the right amount of chaos that I need in my life. If it bothers you, I can dismiss him while you're here."
No, that should be. We're meeting with you, so
"Yes, but you are guests here, so I can make you comfortable if it is
it's
uncomfortable for you."
It's
a
alright.
non-issue. Baldur's Gate just had some recent run-ins with all sorts of less friendly variations. I've got a bit of a twitch when I see them.
Oh,
Anticipate a fight coming.
I understand some of them can be very violent. Yes, Jezebel is not so. More mischievous, if you will.
Well,
See,
we
Would-
do.
I'm looking to see who's going to do the talking.
We do need her assistance with the box.
box. You're not telling me you have an infernal puzzle box, are you?
Yes, and I've already tried negotiating with it and took one hell of a ride, so
I bet you did, sir. May I?
would offer it.
She takes it. She begins sort of looking on it, and she says, "Just one moment." She walks over to a small table. She grabs a little vial of liquid, and you watch as she pours it into one of the crevices on the box itself. And then she begins to turn the box in odd directions, sort of like forcing the liquid to go down a path. And as she does so, she says, "I've been suspicious of the High Overseer of Elturel for a long time, but no one wanted to hear my concerns because Stavius Krieg was widely regarded as a hero who saved his city from an undead scourge, giving rise to the holy nation of Elturgard. Hailed as a savior, Stavius made all citizens of Elturel swear an oath called the Creed Resolute, which binds them to defend the nation of Elturgard. I met him years ago, and my instincts told me he was a charlatan. Afterward, I grew suspicious that he had cut a deal with one or more powerful devils, using the Cred Resolute to bind all Elturel to his dark deal. I wish to prove my theory, and I believe the evidence is locked inside the puzzle box."
Well, luckily, you will not have to worry about him anymore.
"Oh? Why is that?"
He made a swift altercation with my sword.
"Oh. If my suspicions are correct," she continues to turn. You watch the liquid just kind of fill in the little crevices on the thing. "If my suspicions are correct, this might be not the last time you see Thavius Krieg.
I would be happy to behead him again.
I'm sure you will."
Somebody who does that to his people does not deserve to continue living.
No,
Is
indeed not.
that Thavius Krieg's blood?
No, that's simple mercury, actually. As she
Oh,
turns the box
dang
one
it.
last time, you guys see this very beautiful artwork that sort of appears before you. I hope that popped up on everybody's screen.
Yes.
And out of the box itself comes 9. Let's see. Inside the box is a stack of 9 chain-linked plates, each 3 inches on a side, cast of dark iron and stamped with infernal runes. Anyone who understands infernal can translate the runes as follows.
Ooh.
Oh boy.
What's it say?
Be it known to all that I, Thavius Krieg, High Overseer of Elturel, have sworn to my master, Zariel, Lord of Avernus, to keep the agreements contained in this oath. I hereby submit to Zariel in all matters and for all time. I will place her above all creatures, living and dead. I will obey her to all my days and beyond, with fear and servility. I recognize the dispensation of the device called the Solar Indicator, hereafter called the Companion. In my capacity as High Overseer of Elturel and its vassal territories, I acknowledge that all lands falling under the light of the Companion are forfeit to Zariel. All persons bound by oath to defend Elturel are also considered forfeit. I further recognize that this dispensation will last 50 years, after which the Companion will return whence it came, taking Elturel and its oath-bound defenders with it, if that is Zariel's wish. All this is my everlasting pledge.
Wow.
At that, Rhea breaks down and just slams onto the ground, crying her eyes out.
Kind of figured.
Well, that was clever. Didn't pan out for him, but that was rather clever.
Copy paste that in chat.
Yes, if you'd like me to, I can copy and paste that in the chat.
So if we're talking hypotheticals here, all we'd need to do is find this solar incendiator and reverse the effect of it, and it could potentially restore the oath-bound souls that were bound to it. It's, just kind of hand-wavy mumbo-jumbo.
Silvira, she nods a bit and she says, I believe that may be the case. Is your friend going to be okay there?
Yeah,
Takes her a
This
few
is-
minutes, but Rhea, she finally stops crying. She stands up, she slams her fist down on the table. If Zariel wants my soul, she's welcome to try to take it.
well, making challenges with deific beings. Let's just slow down on the revenge. Think a little clearer, please.
It's my understanding that in order to save Elturel, you would have to travel to Avernus, where I do believe the entire city resides.
I can think of worse places to go. Not a ton more, but
I can't.
fortunately, it seems that we're in good company, as I'm rather familiar with Avernus, actually.
Well, listen, if you intend to go there, I can give you this. She pulls out a very large map.
Oh,
She displays it so that you
This
may
with
see
you.
it.
Hey.
Hang on just a minute, and I will change your view. Let me get rid of Fog of War. I don't know why Fog of War is on this particular map.
I love naming conventions so much. There's all this cool stuff, and right in the middle, Demon Zapper. Never change, guys. Never change.
Fantastic.
There's some really interesting. Yeah, this is the map that she shows you guys. The layer of Avernus. She says this map might not entirely be reliable. its creator went mad making it.
Sounds promising.
Where is it?
This is the only map that exists in all of Candlekeep.
Oh.
So if I'm going to give this to you, I need to know that it's going to be taken care of.
Well, we are going to Avernus, so I don't think we should make promises we necessarily can't keep.
Understand that you may not be able to return. Just take care of the map, okay?
Of course.
We'll
Also, we
do
should.
everything in our possibility to make sure the map is protected.
Yeah, we should start working on giving vague platitudes. Promises have a lot of power down there.
Yes, they do. They very much do. I assume that you would want to be traveling to Avernus?
That would be lovely. We'll need to hopefully land somewhere close to El Terrell, as overland travel can get rather unpredictable.
Well, I can get you to El Terrell itself on the plane of Avernus, but there's no point. You see, the wards of Candlekeep prevent any sort of teleportation or plane shift spells. However, I do know a wizard named Traxagor. Lives in a tower 20 miles from here. I've loaned him a spellbook or two, so he owes me a favor. I can have you delivered safely to his tower, and he can use a plane shift spell to take you straight to El Terrell. Even more importantly, Traxagor is looking after an old friend of mine, someone with a history of battling devils in the Nine Hells. I think you'll enjoy her company very much. Her name is Lulu.
More the merrier
Okay.
there.
That is a mighty warrior name, if ever I've heard one.
Absolutely. I do have questions, though.
Yes.
Are you planning on taking that? And she points towards the shield.
Not necessarily. We found it in Thavius's belongings, and
Are you
I've held
sure
on
about
to
that?
it. Recently learned what its true nature is.
Yes. This shield is a symbol of good's triumph over evil. Gazing at such beauty, one can easily overlook the terrible force bound within it. Garroth is, I believe, its name, though it calls itself the Hidden Lord. It was a pit fiend sent by Asmodeus to corrupt mortals on the material plane, and there it amassed such a following as to rival that of gods. In that way, Garroth became sort of a demigod, and having worshippers increased its powers exponentially. My, have the mighty have fallen. This shield has the power to corrupt everything around it. The Hume family of Baldur's Gate has kept it for years now. Doubtless they'll want it back, but this shield should not be taken to any place where thousands of mortals resides. It needs to be locked away in an extra-dimensional space, away from corruptible souls.
I can agree upon that, but unfortunately I haven't come across the place that I have felt comfortable that could achieve that. Is that something you can do here?
Could probably arrange for something like that. No! You must not leave me! Jag.
Can I just ignore it? Is it only to me?
Nobody else hears it. Take me to the Nine Hells. I'll serve, I swear, serve you faithfully as both a guide and an advisor.
I'm going to repeat to her what it just told me.
Well,
I
would be happy if you did take it with you. I fear that the Knights of the Shield will not stop looking for it for quite some time. While the keep's defenses are quite formidable, it would tax them from time to time, I suspect.
I thought you just said not to take it, and now you're telling me to take it?
It's honestly up to you. You are its current owner, so whether you take it or not is up to you. If you choose to leave it here, I will make arrangements for it. If you choose to take it, it might prove useful. But
It
then again,
might
it
also cause problems.
yes, it is a pit
I-
fiend looking to return to the Nine Hells. It's somewhat silly to give it what it wants, no?
I agree. I would like to leave it. I don't feel it is good to take it, as we do have a map and a companion gesturing over at Luca who is at least slightly familiar with Avernus.
Pipping up as someone who professionally is invested in this, having that pit fiend in where we are playing the same game could be very useful, actually.
I can hold on to it. I was hoping we'd run into Chance. I feel like he would be a much better keeper than me of this item.
Well, if you don't want to bear the responsibility, I can take it with me.
I will think that I'll think that over.
My rationale is, well, we have the map, and Avernus follows a loose set of rules that I believe I can manipulate to our advantage. We know that your talking shield has ulterior motives, so we won't be surprised if it tries to lead us awry, but it will have to work with us to get closer to what it wants. And as long as we force it to along our path and collectively stay in control of how much we give and take, it's a delicate dance of exchanging power, but we could get far more than it does as we proceed.
That is true.
There's a telepathic message to Luca.
Okay.
I want to ask her if there's some sort of like a
Protection from it.
map container that that you roll up and put art in to carry it.
Oh yes.
Does she have something like that for
She
the map?
snaps her fingers and a black tube sort of appears that has a strap around it.
Okay.
Will this work?
Yes. That way it's a little more secure. Has a little bit of protection. If she's entrusting it to us, I want to try to keep it nice.
You need not leave right now. I can make arrangements for you to get to Trackscore's tower at any time.
I would like to at least spend a day or two here. The libraries. I would like to look over.
We should endeavor to try to find any information about this the tip of the tongue. Light tip of the tongue solar incendiator.
Yeah.
Well, this is one of the world's largest libraries. Perhaps there can be found some sort of knowledge in here, but before you get your hopes up, understand that of the mages and the archmages of Candlekeep, I am one of the foremost experts on the Nine That particular name I have never heard of before.
Hmm.
But
Well, what
also
sort
I
of...
have not
Oh, go
gone
ahead.
looking for it.
Well, what sort of artifact would contain... I mean, physically speaking, what sort of artifact could contain the oaths of countless mortal souls over a course of 50 years? That would be, I imagine, a highly specific item.
When you make a deal, it is not something that... It's not something that contains that power. It is a law of the universe itself. When you sign one of these contracts, when you commit your soul for whatever deal it is that you are being offered, this deal is held in validation by the forces of law and order. One would even say the god Primus, the utmost being of law and order, affects the letter of the contract itself. So nothing necessarily can contain those souls so much as the deal itself, because the universe is behind it.
So what he wrote up in the contract, law and order had to follow, basically. So
any deal made by any devil is
right.
essentially enforced by the law of the universe. Devils themselves are law-bound creatures, and so the force of law in the entire universe is behind the contracts they make. Demons, creatures from the abyss, are of chaos itself of the universe.
So the rub of it will be identifying what they agreed a solar incendiator would be, and then attempt to renege the terms of the agreement.
Unfortunately, the letter of this contract seems pretty clear. It is of the will of Zerial. Do not feel that you are going to be able to invalidate this contract, unfortunately. It seems that my knowledge of the Hells and Demons would suggest that you need to change Zerial's mind.
I was gonna say Zerial would have to not will it for it to
perhaps destroy the solar incendiator itself, whatever that may be.
Yeah, that's... I don't know that we're gonna figure that out. Anybody that would know is probably in Elturel.
Well, that's where you're going. And I imagine that, well, if it was something demonic, it was probably forged in Hell's Forge by the Master Forger himself.
Did find that out, that they can't make anything out of that metal except down there.
Well, Bell is the most predominant figure of forging within the Nine Hells. If it was made there, he could probably tell you how to destroy it. The trick is to get him to tell you without having to give up your soul.
We need to have...
Gee. Oh boy. Woo-wee. Sounds rough.
I guess the trick is having something as tempting to a demon as a soul that you could trade.
It's very true. I can tell you that demons love soul coins, so if you could get enough of them, perhaps you could buy the information from him.
I do not like bartering with other people's souls like that.
So you steal ones that are of damned souls, and you wheel and deal. You Puritans can keep your hands clean. Down there, I'm inclined to fully practice my profession. Ugh. You just have to know the rules and how far you can bend them either way before you imperil your longevity. And as much as possible, you should probably let the imperiling fall on me. I'm already in that line of work.
I'm already expecting to follow your lead. I will be quite out of my element down there.
The library's resources, the keep's resources, are at your disposal. You can feel free to research. I have a few books of my own personal collection I can loan you if you'd like to research information on the Nine Hells and Avernus itself.
How about creatures?
Yes, I have. I do believe I have. She looks around for a few minutes. Oh, yes. A good friend of mine loaned me this recently. Have you ever heard of the mage Mordenkainen?
I don't think so.
No, he's got quite a bit of information about the Blood War and some of the creatures that are in the Nine Hells. Here, you may borrow it.
Careful.
Be careful with it. It is my only copy. It is
Did-
signed by him. It's quite a special one. It's got its special cover.
Did you say that it was a tome written by Mordekainen?
Yes, yes.
Would it
Say that
loosely
tome
cover
sounds
the
gross.
topic of various foes we could face?
Yes, yes, indeed.
Studying that one.
Man, it'd be amazing if that was more widely published.
It would be, wouldn't it? Well, it's a rare tome, like I said.
Like the
You can
guide
find
to
it at your
monsters
local
by
realtor
Bolo.
for $9.99.
Oh,
Uh,
you've heard of that book too? I just happen to have my copy right here. Yes. It's got some very small bit of information with devils and demons in here. Volo wasn't a very brave individual when it came to the Nine Hells. Mordenkainen was an archmage. You do understand the difference, don't you?
Oh, yes.
Famous adventurer, philanthropist, sort of vagabond, if you will. Knowledgeable
Yes.
mage. Yes.
Yes,
very
yes. I came across
She's-
the one in a bookstore up in the
Oh, yes.
up to the north.
He did tell me he was going to publish. I'm so glad he did. Perhaps I should write a book.
Do you happen to have a section on sentient weapons at all?
I do believe that you can find some information, but you're going to have to go to the enchanting side of the keep. I'm sure Penn can show you where that would be. Care to check that out?
Yes.
It's not my forte, you understand. Each of us
I-
mages sort of pick their specialty. I happen to know a fellow, though. Oh, his name, it was right on the tip of my tongue. Oh, just give me a moment, it'll come to me.
somewhere and sit and read this book.
That's a second book you got. now.
What?
About monsters in different
Please,
campaign.
please return that before traveling to the Nine Hells.
Yes, of course, but I'm studying it. I'll do an intelligence check even.
I really appreciate it. Oh, my friend. Yes, his name, Cotrix. I just remembered.
Oh, yes.
Becotrix.
He's an archmage and does a lot of research into a lot of areas. And he'd probably be the one to tell you.
I will head that way
Awesome.
when we're done here.
Awesome. Do you have any other questions for me?
Make sure to return this.
Is Karen still charged the same amount, or have rates gone up due to changes in the conflicts?
Dear sir, you do not want to travel the river Styx at all. But yes, he does still charge the same amount.
Oh,
You
we've talked a lot about getting in, but reliably, isn't Karen's boat trip of fun and excitement the only reliable way to get out?
Well, that depends. It's one way out, yes. Do you believe you are going to a city, and there are quite a few individuals there if you manage to save the city. And perhaps whatever you do to save the city will get you out as well?
Do we have any intelligence on the condition of the city? Is it a border territory? Is it a holding of Avernus? Is it overrun?
Unfortunately,
No one knows.
I have no way to answer those questions.
Oh, we could very well be walking into a border skirmish between demons and devil legions. That would be exceedingly bad.
Could be
Or
very
exceedingly
bad.
fun.
Could be very bad. Or very fun, yes. Depending on your point of view, I suppose. Once you get there, you'll know. Like I say, Traxor, he can get you straight to El Torel, so you wouldn't have to travel the river Styx. You would just appear in the city, wherever it may be.
Yeah, getting in is always... Why is it always that getting in is simple? I will troubleshoot the exit strategy as best I can. I hope that if we can avoid Karen's boat ride, then it should be a last resort. Is river goes strange places, and we don't want to go down.
And if you get splashed with any water, you'll never be the same.
Indeed.
Will you be taking the shield with you, or shall I make arrangements for it?
I would recommend leveraging all our assets and taking it across.
Well, it's good to know.
We will take it.
It's good information to have, yes. If you have no other questions for me, I'd like to get back to my current research, if at all possible. I will, however, make myself available should any questions come up. Please do not hesitate to come knock on my door and ask me your questions. If I'm not here, you can feel free to ask Jezebel to get a message to me.
A final question before we go. These circular formations on the map, do they have any special meaning that you can ascertain?
As I said, the map itself is quite unreliable as the maker of it went mad. They could be ink blots. They could mean something
Territory
specific.
markings.
What does it look like to you?
Well, it looks like there's circles in the central locations around certain items, and if I were a betting person, which I'm not, but I am a skeptic, I wonder if there's any useful information contained in what locations are indicated and which aren't.
Well, I imagine that those particular locations were significant to the creator of the map.
Guess we'll just
In what way, I could not tell you.
have to figure it out when we get down there.
Yes, it's
Just shudder a little bit.
one of those things. But if you'd like, I could. Well, let's just say that I'm available for questions. Yes.
Would nod, and unless either of you want to pour over a map of Avernus made by someone who potentially went crazy, that sounds like a fun hobby for Luca for the in-between time.
The map case as well. Just
Avernus
for
with
peace
map
of
case.
mind.
We should probably split up who has the important things so that we don't have all of it stacked on one person.
What?
So I'm saying, so I've got this book of monsters that I'm going to go look at. I'll
Mhm.
hand the map over to you with the map case so you can
Okay.
study that.
Jag, you can hold on to the shield for now.
Yep.
And then once we get ready to cross over, we can assign who wants to be specifically responsible for what, seeing as things might change once we get over there.
I have to give her the book back before we go.
Yeah.
So I'm
You
going to
have to come
study.
see her before you go. So.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So I'm going to study it and try to glean all I can of its contents.
Okay.
And try to maintain that wisdom on our trip.
Okay. So I imagine you guys are done with Sylvirus, and
Yes.
you exit her little alchemical/wizard's lab. As you guys exit, Penn is there waiting for you. Well, how did it go?
It was insightful.
Actually.
Oh, good, very good. Yes. Shall I take you to your rooms or something to eat, perhaps? Or how can I assist you?
I would like to go to the enchanting section. I'm looking for Cotrix.
Oh, yes, Archmage Cotrix. I can take you to his laboratory. Yes.
Are there gardens here?
Oh, yes. There is one. I can take you there.
If you could just point me in the direction.
Down the stairway, left. Then you come to the Hall of Dragons. You'll know it when you get there. It's stone statues of all the dragons. At the end of the corridor, take a right, and you will find the courtyard.
Okay. Got it.
Good luck. Luca, where can I assist you? How can I help you?
I'll tag along for now.
Oh, yes.
Uh,
Yes, come this way. Come.
Then eventually, if I find anything exciting, I'll need to go to an abjuration area where wards are particularly strong.
He pulls out his brochure and he's looking at it, leading you guys along.
Upside down. And
He stops, looks at his map. Oh yes, this way. And he turns around, starts going the other way.
Okay. Quick question.
Okay.
DM.
Yeah.
So when the puzzle box opened,
Yep.
was it a physical contract?
Yes, it was 9 3-inch by 3-inch metal plates chain linked together.
Okay. I just, for the sake of, I wrote it all down in my journal.
Yeah, okay.
I would have asked for some parchment so I could copy it all down. So
Oh,
I have.
if you want to have like a rubbing,
That too. Yeah, that works.
Then
Yeah.
you could have, she would have given you supplies, and you can have a rubbing of
Okay.
the actual contract itself.
Just so I could reference it again if need be.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is the puzzle box turned in now, or do we still have it in our
It
inventory?
is turned in till Survivors. It's opened, and so it won't actually reclose. That's
Okay.
the kind of thing with the puzzle boxes. The contract
She has.
is with her, and the remains of the box really are with her. So it's turned in,
Okay.
technically.
Would I have incited that she's gonna keep that in a super safe place because it's evidence?
You suspect that it's in a pretty safe place. You're not sure. I mean, evidence. If the High Seer committed what he did, and all of El Terrell is in hell right this moment in time, I think there's a more pressing matter rather than evidence. I think it's pretty evident. What happened?
Just there's a lot of people out there that don't know it, and this confirms it. So, from that aspect.
Rhea's gonna go with you, Robin, to the gardens.
Okay. Cool.
She needs some peace and quiet while she contemplates what's been revealed.
I need somewhere that feels a little more like home, so I can try to concentrate on this book.
It doesn't take you guys very long. He leads you through a couple of dark corridors, or more, not necessarily dark, but darker than bright corridors. He leads you off to an extra wing. Eventually, he does come to a metal door. It has two of those little sliding windows, one at about the 3-foot mark and one about the 6-foot mark on it. He raps on that. A few minutes later, the lower door slides open, and you can see a pair of eyes looking out. Yeah? What do you want?
Hello, Cotrix, I presume?
Maybe? Who's asking?
The name is Jag. I'll give a nice bow. I was told to come here that if anybody knew anything about enchanting and sentient weapons, you'd be the person to talk to.
I'm really busy, but I haven't seen one of you before, so... the thing, like... You hear this click, 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 and then the door just pops open, swings in, and there's a halfling standing there in like dark red robes, looks up at you.
Have I heard the tales of Cotrix, the Mad Mage Slayer?
Roll a history check.
I
Are
love
we in our
Single-handedly-
party's future?
Yes.
Who single-handedly took down the Mad Mage.
Single-handedly, how dare you?
Oh, come on, you know Cotrix would say that.
Yes, Patrick would say that, actually.
The name for you doesn't ring any like bells or anything like that. The presence of the small individual in front of you, though, seems that he might know a lot about a lot of really random different things. So, looking especially at the very cluttered like workstation, the alchemical stuff that you saw over in Sylvirus's, neat and organized, and there's like just books piled on top of like alchemical stuff, and it looks like it's gonna break. Like the whole place is just trashed, quite literally badly trashed, and so yeah. First, what are you?
A Leonin. My kind is not from here.
Second, where are you from?
I am from, Theros.
Eros. Interesting. Come in,
Same
come in.
tight.
Thank you very much for bringing them by, initiates. You can feel free to wait outside. Don't touch anything. Slams the door shut behind him. He kind of motions you in, and he says, feel free to sit anywhere. You look around, and there's like no chairs or like open space to really sit anywhere. But he He does climb up. You do see like a stack of books next to a table, and he actually climbs those up like there's a set of stairs and like walks. You see there's a path between the table, like all the stuff on the table, and he's actually walking down this path, heading towards the backside of his laboratory, and he's talking the whole way. Never really been to Theros. I'd like to go to Theros. I wonder what there is to learn there. What other kind of creatures are in Theros?
Well, there's a lot that's similar to here. I can't. What kind of creatures would I know off the top of my head that would exist in Theros, but not here in?
I don't know. Do you know anything?
Nah, I probably could if I remembered, but I'm not remembering at the moment.
Really, it's no big deal. Well, anyway, you came all this way for what? Exactly.
Yeah, I came across. I'll motion to the great sword across my back. This sword, and it's spoken to me a few times. It seems a little shy, but I was wondering if there's any information, if it's about it or where it's come from, or.
Oh, well, he leads you back, and you finally see, like, in the very back of his workspace, an empty table that he seems to be working on. There is an open book on that table. He walks down another set of books to, like, get to the table, and he comes up to it, he closes the book, and he kind of, like, shoves it off to the side, and he gestures to the table. If you would, please, place the greatsword here.
I'll pull it off my back and gently set it down on the table.
You set it down on the table, and he begins to run his hand along it. Interesting. Do you know what this says?
What language is it in? Do I know what it says?
Scribblings.
I do not.
Well, I don't imagine you would, because it doesn't say anything. So it looks like writing, but it's not. It's, I don't know. Maybe it could be? I don't know. It's very unusual. I haven't seen anything like this for, well, ever. I'm very intrigued. Would you be willing to wait while I performed a couple of tests?
I'm gonna like pull out like a water skin. Am I able to drink in here?
Oh, yes. Feel free. Would you like something stronger than that?
The water will do for now.
Oh, okay. And you? Anything to drink?
You got vodka?
I do have some vodka. He snaps his fingers, and a bottle of a clear bottle with a really shiny like label on it kind of appears in your hands, and it says on it, Stoli. And you're like, never heard of that.
Ugh. Finally, some proper drink. Baldur's Gate, you just get wine and swill.
Yeah, well, I've never been there myself. Spent a little bit of time in Waterdeep. Boy, that's a story, let me tell you. Hang on a few minutes. You're pretty tall. On the fourth bookshelf over there, you're looking for a book that says Enchanting 501. Can you get that for me, please? I think this is a good time for us to take our break. So I'm going to pause the recording, and we'll rejoin our group as they discover the mysteries and the secrets behind Candlekeep. No time will pass for you at home, because we're going to pause the recording and we'll resume, but we'll be back in a few minutes. So take this moment in time, pause your video, go get yourself a cup of tea, go get yourself a cup of coffee, get a beer, a glass of wine, something like that. Drink your
Vodka, if you're
vodka,
Luca.
if you're into that, whatever your poison may be, as long as it's not actually poison. Okay, we'll see you soon. Hey everybody, welcome back. We took our wonderful 10-minute break during the time frame that we were away. Some of us got some drinks, used the bathroom. It's up to you to figure out which ones we did what. No, just kidding. We just left moments ago with Jag and Luca getting a bit of information from Cotrix, the Archmage. You can always catch him on Monday Night Mountaineers way before he became an Archmage and moved to Candlekeep in his more readily adventuring days. But Jag, he asked you to go get a book. Was able to point out the book that he wanted. You walk over to the bookshelf, look across the bookshelf, grab the book that he wants, and it's a two-handed book for you. So it's like, boonk, like you have to take this thing out and like carry it over to the table, and he clears off a space for it, and you kind of poof right there. And if you would please, page 397. You are going through the book and turning the pages, and he's like, his hands are sort of hovering over the blade itself, and he's chanting in some arcane sort of knowledge language of some sort. You're not sure exactly what he's saying, but as he stops, you can notice sort of a blue sort of glow between his hands and the blade, and finally come to the page that he told you to stop at. Look down at it. Do you read Halfling?
I don't think I do. I don't remember. No.
Okay. The words are like really small and like really difficult to read. There's a lot of the words on this particular page, and he stops what he's doing, and he grabs the page, and he finds a section of the book, and he starts muttering to himself in Halfling. And then he turns the page, and you see on this page 3 images side by side. The first image you see is a very large looking black axe. It's in a style that's strikingly familiar to your greatsword there. Okay. Right next to that particular thing, you see a large maul, also in a style that is very resembling of your greatsword, and next to it you can actually see an image of your greatsword in this particular book. Well, that's what I thought. This is an obsidian oathkeeper. There's some creatures in this realm and other realms that are, well, they're sort of resistant to normal attacks. I suspect you know this by now. You're not a fresh, wet behind the ears adventurers. You come from another plane of existence or realm. It provides a little bit of bonus when it comes to hitting those creatures and those creatures taking damage from this sword. You could surmise that at that point in time it's a +1 greatsword. The thing about an oathkeeper, oathkeepers were made by the Netherese, a very ancient and powerful group of wizards. These weapons were made for their war machine, you understand? And each one of them was given to a particular warrior. How you've gotten one in your hands seems a little odd to me, but their warriors at the time were great weapons masters and very evil. You understand? These people were out for blood. Conquer was essentially what they wanted to do, and their most deadliest and dangerous warriors were each given one of these blades. And each warrior would swear an oath of some sort. The oath would bind the blade to them, and it would give them certain abilities that they could use through the blade. The oath is what powers the blade, and the blade is what powers the oath. Do you understand what I mean?
I want to say Cotrix. Jagger is like just barely keeping up. Like he's
Okay. So to fully unlock the powers of your greatsword, you would want to swear some sort of an oath. Now, the more important this oath to you, the more powerful it binds with the weapon. You swear to do good is very general. You understand what I mean? It's not going to give you very much, and it's going to be probably an average greatsword. These runes written in the blade here will form an arcane bond with you, and as such, each weapon can only ever be wielded by one owner, which is very unusual that, again, you find one in this blade itself. There has been no oath sworn to it. It is not that the blade is shy or timid. It is waiting for you. It is waiting to have your oath in order to fully come awake.
all right. I think I get what you're saying.
Some
And Soul
paladins,
needs one of these.
you know, they swear oaths to gods or to, be virtuous, righteous warriors striking down evil, or oaths to forests and beings of nature. You have to decide your own oath. I warn you, though, swearing an oath on an oath blade binds it to you for all eternity. It also makes it impossible for you to break that oath. This is one of the reasons why the oath blades were not very popular among the Netherese warriors. You see, some Netherese warriors got grandiose ideas of being just and rightful rulers, but had sworn an oath of death and destruction. And as such, their lives were taken from them when they were no longer able to fulfill their oath by the blade itself, which in turn destroys the blade.
Yeah, Soul needs one of these. This is the perfect weapon for Soul.
It is a perfect weapon for Jagger because he will. I understand. I will think hard and ponder the oath I choose to swear to it.
This is good news. I suspect as much. The book here tells me essentially that there's no, wrong way to perform a ceremony to an oath blade. They used to do it under a full moon at the peak of their civilization, and it used to be a big to-do. But as far as I can tell here, 35 of these weapons were made. You have found one that no oath was given to. Count yourself very lucky, for if you say the right oath, you could have a very powerful weapon at your disposal. I hope that helped, at the very least.
You have, very much so.
Well, I'm certainly glad you brought this to me. I wasn't sure that these existed. I thought perhaps that this was all a fairy tale, so this is quite exciting if you don't say so yourself. By chance, could I be present when you say your oath? I'd love to see the runes take shape in the blade. You see, I think that would be a marvelous feat of magic.
As someone who's given me value information upon it, I find that something I would be happy to do. I will take the night to ponder the oath.
It's a big
And
deal, yes,
uh,
indeed.
but I believe I have some time to kill for the day. You said you had an interesting tale about Waterdeep. I would love to hear about it.
Oh yes, I can tell you all about my adventure trying to learn as much as I possibly can with the most impatient group of individuals you'd ever imagine. They always used to keep telling me, I hope you learn fast. Let me tell you something, I learned very quickly to trust some of them, and other ones, well, they had strange reactions to my magic, you might imagine. Come, let us drink and let me tell you a tale.
And I'll take one of those vodkas if you got some more. I figure this is probably a tale best.
For sure, this is definitely a tale told around drinks.
Yeah, it is.
And that is how I'll spend the rest of my day.
Okay.
So then he broke 2 spears and made stilts out of them.
Yeah. Yes.
Would you believe that crazy chick pulled the sword
out of the dragon's head? And I said, "No, you're under arrest!" And fireball. And
Oh,
I had it was glowing green in a big bubble, and he ran into it. The tiefling.
Oh man.
We
The
met with these
stories.
giants. They lifted us up to this castle.
The stories I could tell you. Goodness.
But they
She
haven't
broke
happened.
my heart. The love of my life. Anyway. Miss Robin of Sherwood Forest, you are
Work
currently...
that in.
Huh?
I said, great, now we have to work that in.
By this point in time, he's a little drunk, so he's probably making things up.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll
He's
see.
not
won't
making
we?
them up. He's just saying them how he remembers them. That may not be
Yes.
true, but
Yeah.
he's not making it up. He's just saying things how he remembers them,
Uh-huh.
Yep.
even if he remembers them wrong.
So
So
it's true from a certain point of view.
exactly.
Yes.
Looking up monsters and trying to garner information
Yes.
that might help you in the Nine Hells. What
At least the one.
Okay, well, what let me get, let's see, let's do an investigation roll. You can feel free to do so at advantage as you have a book in front of you. Okay. Awesome. Let's see. The book gives you a lot of information about what is known as the Blood War. The Blood War is the war that takes place on the first layer of Avernus, which is the layer of hell that you are going to go to. It basically tells of the constant pouring of the demons from the abyss through the river Styx onto the first layer of hell. And the demonic war machine, which happens to be the repellers of this invasion. Every time an evil person in the world dies, they rise from the river Styx as a lemur demon, which lemurs are pretty much the cannon fodder soldiers of the demonic armies, the Hell's legions. They use these things, they throw hundreds of thousands of them in battles that can rage thousands of years in the demonic war. is there any sort of specific information you are looking for?
I mean, we're gonna be on Avernus, so it's more just creatures we might encounter
Okay.
in at least some of our early travels, because I don't imagine too many people get far into Avernus and come back to tell about it. So, just at least a little something to expect, creatures we might run into, and how to handle them.
Okay. Let's see. With the roll that you had, you can learn about a creature that you can find in the Nine Hells, known as an abyssal chicken. The handy dandy handout there will show you what the abyssal chicken looks like. Hold on, sorry.
Oh,
I need
boy.
to find my appendix of creatures. Lakes of demonic ichor appear where demons are slaughtered in great numbers. Malformed trees grow on their shorelines, their branches laden with fleshy sacs. These eventually flop to the ground and wetly break open, each one releasing a fully grown abyssal chicken. Abyssal chickens are carnivorous, temperamental, tasty bottom feeders native to the abyss. They beat their leathery wings to scare predators and to help them run faster, and they taste like fatty chicken.
Size are they?
They are small. Tiny. They're tiny.
Tiny. So they're actual chickens, but creepy looking.
Yeah. Let's see. You can learn about an Amzu. You saw one of these when you visited the Wandering Emporium. Amzus lead the infernal legions into battle and command guardians at the gateways to the hells. They are arrogant, bullying, and ruthless, but they're also highly intelligent tacticians and unfailingly loyalty. Qualities that hellish archdukes value. Some perform the critical task of watching over the river Styx from fortresses along the river's blighted banks, where it flows through Dis and Stygia. Souls arriving in the form of lemurs have no personalities or memories. They're driven only by the desire to commit evil. The Amzus that patrol here drill the rules of the Nine Hells into the new arrivals' pitiful brains, and marshal the lemurs into legions. So these are one of the higher up sort of demons that exist in the Nine Hells, as you might imagine. Huh?
Remember the name of that? Did he give us his name? The one that was in the market?
You never...
We never talked to him?
You never interacted with him.
Alright.
You learn about barbed devils. Let's see.
We've dealt with some of these.
You've dealt with some of these. These are middling, lesser devils, but they are essentially slightly promoted devils above lemurs, so they're offered a little bit more power and a little bit more freedom within the Nine Hells. You're looking for specific devils? You're looking for demons? Both? Hello?
What's that?
I said, are you looking for devils or demons or both, or what's
I mean, a little of both. That kind of is.
You can learn about dretches. Spawn from the infinite layers of the abyss, demons are the embodiment of chaos and evil. This is a demon. This particular creature, the dretch, has a nasty, disgusting green gas that extends out from the dretch. It is very bad to stay within this poisoned, nasty stink cloud that this thing can potentially give off. So
It's little things like that, just information about some monsters that we might see, and like
okay, let's see the
little hidden tidbits
all right.
that we may not know.
The Amzu is a innate caster. You can cast spells, which some of the more powerful demons can obviously do. It also has the ability to charm.
So
It also has the ability to potentially take away your intelligence momentarily and make you stunned. Some of the demons that also come out of the abyss is a chasme. This is a very large winged demon from the abyss. This particular thing produces a sound that demons are amused to. Any other creature that hears this sound can sometimes make them, I guess, fall unconscious. You can learn about something known as a chain devil. A chain devil is
Not bad.
fairly powerful, but not as powerful as an Amzu devil. It can actually use those chains as weapons, and it uses them to kind of whip and magically secure onto creatures. That's one of the things that you might run into down there. And you read about a Sybarix. Let me show you what a Sybarix looks like. It's a beautiful looking creature. No creature embodies the chaotic nature of the abyss so well as a Sybarix. Although the realm of demons is already a place of infinite horrors, Sybarixes, for some reason, make them even more of these monstrosities. Thought to be as old as the abyss itself, Sybarixes haunt remote parts of the plane where they use their vile abilities to breed new horrors and apprehend forbidden lore. Rivulets of blood and bile cascade from the Sybarix's body. Where these noxious fluids hit the ground, the landscape becomes polluted. Sybarixes have spent eons amassing information from across the plains, hoarding knowledge for when it might be useful. Such is their incredible intellect that many seek them out, including demon lords. Some Sybarixes act as advisors and oracles, manipulating demons into serving their ends, while others cling to their secrets, parceling out only lore when doing so would advance their plans. Something about this creature strikes you as potentially familiar. Roll. I'd say perception. Well, what stat would you like to use? Describe to me how you would recall something that you might have seen. What that would look like to your character.
Um,
I'll give you a chance to.
She does keep a journal, like she takes notes on things physically. So it would be more like she'd go back to her room because she did leave most of her things back there.
Okay.
So I'll leave the garden, I'll go back to my room and get into my traveling backpack and look through my notes to see if I may have written something about this or drawn a picture or something.
Okay. Then what stat would you call that? Would you call that wisdom, or would you call that intellect? Because those are the two stats I imagine you'd use. So I'd say either perception, insight, investigation, or history.
I'll go perception.
Okay.
Whoa.
Wow. You close the book, and you look at Rhea, and she's like, I need to go back. I think I realized something. And you start heading back towards your room. You're about halfway back when it dawns on you. It wouldn't have been something that you written down in your journal, but it is something that you've seen very recently. It takes a
I'll
moment.
say.
It takes a moment for you to recognize it, but the creature bears a striking resemblance to something
Saw it on the map.
that you might have seen on the map.
I hate when I'm wrong about these things. I thought those were just Grell. No. Oh boy.
Interesting. So they would know a lot of things about a lot of things.
They would know a lot of things about a lot of things. You also kind of recall, like, you just read about, like, towers along the river Styx, and how
Yeah.
there were creatures that used these towers to watch the river Styx itself.
I'm making notes to myself about what I recall about the map. Black blobs with tentacles on the map are that one, and towers.
You also recall the cult that you dealt with while you were in Baldur's Gate happened to be the cult of Tiamat.
Right.
And you do realize that there is a very large dragon skull pictured on the map of Avernus, and you wonder to yourself whether or not the book would have any information on this. You can head to your room to read the book, or you can go back to the garden. As you are sort of hesitating there to decide what to do, Rhea comes over to you. I'm definitely not looking forward to our journey, but I can feel the pull.
You were from El Terrell.
Exactly, and I swore
imagine
the Creed of Resolute.
I only hope this won't have an effect on you when we get down there. We just don't know what to expect.
Well, from the sounds of it, it just sounds like I'm damned to hell, regardless of what I do.
Our goal is to change that.
Yes, that's very true.
I'm not necessarily entirely looking forward to speaking to someone I held in high esteem who has now fallen so low. In my opinion.
Well, that's for sure. She was corrupted and fell low. But hopefully we can save her. That would be my hope.
It is my hope as well, but at the very least, I hope we can save El Terrell.
As many souls as we possibly can when we arrive. That would be good. Yes.
I'll be walking back to the room. I'm just gonna go the rest of the way.
You guys get pretty schnockered. Coach Riggs talks well into the night. You're both kind of like a little like getting tired of his talking because he does do a bit of talking.
Talk a lot.
Talk a bit. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. But, you know, he is good company, so he does do a bit of talking. Do you guys want to... Night has fallen. Tummies are probably getting a little rumbly.
Yeah, I'll roll up the map and say that I'm headed to get something to eat and then sleep.
Jagger will stand up. Aye, me as well. Some food and bed sounds good.
Oh, don't forget your blade.
Yes, and I'll pick it up and strap it back across my back. I will see you tomorrow, Coach Riggs.
Oh, sure. You know where I am now. And if not, the initiate outside, he can show you.
Us lion people have good memory.
Hold on just a second. And he kind of like hurries up over to the door and he like just barely slides open the lower door. Hold on just a minute. He slides it shut. And he like very slowly starts like unlocking it. You notice he's trying not to make any noise at all, and he like opens up the door, peeks his head out, and you guys can see Penn. He's sitting across the hallway from your door, but he's on the ground and he's fallen asleep. Like he's on the ground and he's over there falling asleep, and he's like, Coach Rick starts like tiptoeing across the hallway, like he gets right in front of Penn and he's just like slap, and he just slaps his hands together really loud, and like Penn kind of like startles awake, and Coach Riggs comes back and he's all like, initiates, they're so fun. He goes back into his room and Penn's all like,
I'll walk by. Give him a nice tap. Come on, Penn. Let's go get some food.
oh yeah, it's definitely past dinner time. Hope you didn't mind. I didn't wait.
Yeah,
But
no worries.
I could eat again for sure. Did you learn anything?
Very much so.
Oh, that's good. I suppose that's really good. What'd you learn?
I'm trying to debate what I want to exactly say there.
He's gonna take you guys down. To the mess
Some
hall.
here and there, and some stuff to think upon.
Wow, that's pretty vague. Well, will you guys be leaving tomorrow, or? I'm sure Joe will want to come say goodbye.
Is he still drinking? I mean, we're going to get some food. He might still be there. We could.
Well, he's probably in his room, if anything. I was planning on stopping by after I was finished with you guys.
Well, let's invite him and make a regular dining party out of it.
I can go do that if you'd like.
Yes, let's.
Or we could all go together.
That sounds even better. We might, with the power of 3, we might be able to coax Joe out for a rousing meal.
Good idea. Oh, and maybe we can pick up your other friends too.
Yes, efficiency is preferable.
So about 10 minutes later, Robin, you get a knock at your door.
Okay, so like on the way back, do I look like I'm looking through the book to see what if it says anything about Tiamat?
You can roll an investigation, but roll it regular, because if you're looking on the way back. Okay. The book does say that Tiamat's lair is located on the first lair of hell in Avernus. Her great dragon monument is guarded by hosts of ancient dragons, making it so that no devil nor demon wants to mess with it at all.
Hosts of dragons?
Hosts of ancient dragons.
Flee.
Making it so that essentially nobody really wants to mess with the poor...
The Horde of Tiamat? Yeah,
Yeah,
no.
nobody wants to kind of like go, you know...
Anywhere near it?
Yeah, nobody wants to mess with that particular thing.
I want to mess with the Horde of Tiamat.
Yeah, sure you do. You can feel free to do so. Let's see, hold on a second. I know there's something in here about it.
At your own peril.
Yeah, pretty much at your own peril. But let's see. Sorry, I can't find my information now. I know it's in here. There it is.
It'll be the last place you look.
Yeah, let's see. What's it have here? It's a gigantic skull located on the plain of Avernus, where Tiamat's lair is said to exist. It's pretty much what you're going to get from a 12. Guarded by hordes of chromatic ancient dragons. We lost Peyton, and Peyton's back.
Tells us to 100% stay away from there, so that's really all I need to know.
You mean go visit? Go visit now?
No.
Okay.
Not so much. The opposite of that.
You get back to your room about 10 minutes later, knock at your door, and you are reunited with Luca and Jag and Pen and Rhea. We're gonna go get something to eat. Would you like to come with us?
Good. I could eat.
Next room down, he doesn't stop at, but the room after that, he stops at and knocks on the door. A few minutes later, the door opens and you see a very hungover, disheveled looking Joe. Looks like he spent the last 2 days in a drunken haze. Like, what do you want? Well, we want you to come eat with us. We were hoping that you would come out and get something to eat. Like, go away, traitor. Just begins to shut the door.
Oh, Joe.
You
come
see
on.
Penn, he looks visibly sad, and a tear starts to kind of like roll down his cheek a little bit.
I understand you're upset with him, but come join us to eat before we must take off on our journey.
Alright, roll a persuasion.
Persuasion.
He's standing there. He's standing still. He doesn't look like he's quite, it doesn't look like he's gonna. He stops pushing on the door. His arm kind of drops. He's kind of drooped a little bit. Like, we've been together since we were like 4. And you go and sign up for some religious order, dude. That's like totally not cool. Pen doesn't say anything.
Didn't we impress upon you that we wanted you to devote your lives to good? You both agreed. That's what he's done.
Okay, roll another persuasion.
My number today.
He turns back towards the group. Like, I get that. I suppose. But do I have to commit to a deity? Like,
I don't know, the pen?
Pen's just kind of... Joe, there's all sorts of deities out there in the world. I just learned about one today. The god of brewing and alcohol. Joe looks a little skeptical at this.
Is that a thing? Would any of us know if that's a thing?
At the very minimum, you two are two halves of a whole, and if you separate now, it will lead to a worse fate than if you're together, even if you're not necessarily on the same path again.
Roll a persuasion.
I'm pretty good at persuasion. Famous last words.
Better than I did.
Like,
That was a 4 with a +9.
hey, still counts. Like, you say there's a god of brewing and alcohol? Pen just nods his head. Well, maybe it's something to look into. I'll go with you. I'll go get something to eat. And at this, Pen gets like really happy and like visibly animated and
Like a Muppet.
yeah, like a Muppet. And on the way back to dinner, Joe's like, I'm really sorry. Like, I got mad at you. Zoinks, it really hurt my feelings when you signed up for that religious class and you got lost, didn't you? Pen nods his head. You really didn't know how to say no, didn't you? Pen nods his head again, like this time a little more like up and down. But he turns around and kind of like winks at the rest of the group at that. But they seem to be on the mend again. We'll take that as an opportunity, since the entire party rolled high enough to help reunite Pen and Joe, and you have discovered lots of very important information. You may all advance to level 6.
Yeah.
I believe is the next level.
Alrighty. Yeah.
Cow.
Okay. Here
Ciao.
it comes.
Alright, so I do believe that this is the very last. You guys should be now level 6, right? You weren't level 6
yes.
prior. Okay, so this is the very last level in which I will require you to roll for your hit points. So if you use the hit dice in your character sheet, it will roll and add your Constitution modifier. That's how many you could get. This time I will also be doing a secret roll, so you get to choose whether to keep your roll or my roll. Next, level 7 through 10, you will be taking the average again. So, Luca, you rolled a d8. Hold on just a minute. Ooh. Do you want to keep your roll or my roll, Luca?
With my roll, I'm at an even 50. That sounds good to me.
Okay. Ooh, interesting. Jag, do you want to keep your role or my role?
I got a pretty 8 out of 12 is not bad, so I am going to take that.
Okay. And last but not least, Robin, your role or my role?
I rolled 8.
Yeah.
Pretty damn good on a D10.
Okay, so you're gonna stick with it?
I'm keeping mine.
Okay. For Luca, I rolled a 7, and then you would also get your Constitution modifier on that, but you didn't take it. For Jag, I rolled a 6, so good call on you. And for Robin, I rolled a 3, so good call on you.
Now I have 69 hit points, so
69, dude. You are located in the vast library of knowledge, and I know almost each one of you, looked up, information for your character or whatnot. Is there any other research you wanted to do? Luca, is there anything you wanted to try to research while you were in Candlekeep?
The downtime for Luca would be trying to ascertain anything useful from the design of the map itself, potentially reaching out as they're inclined to communicate with the voice that's made contact with me.
Okay. I would like you to roll a intelligence saving throw. Okay. A wisdom saving throw, and then an investigation. You may roll the investigation at advantage because you are utilizing your voice.
Okay.
With those particular rolls, let's see. What sort of information I can give you off this map. One of the things you're going to be able to discern is there is no scale to this particular map. You realize that there are no reference points on this map. The map seems to contain important landmarks on the plane, but you are also given knowledge via the person that you're talking with that there can be no scale, as Avernus is like a plane of existence, so therefore things may move on the map. They may not be in the same places necessarily next to each other. So that's one thing you're going to garner from it. You will also garner that there are important areas highlighted on the map. One of them would be this tree here. One of them would be this group of weird-looking creatures. You see the sword sticking out of the ground here. You'd see some weird structure there, another weird structure here, a large structure over here, some sort of a tower perhaps, some thing on the horizon. You're not sure exactly what that would be. You're not even sure what that thing would be, but it definitely looks to be standing out. This here, you would know that this is a location where an individual that employs you exists. This is Bell's Forge.
Yeah, buddy. We like to call that corporate.
It looks like there's some sort of a structure that actually sticks out of the river itself. You're not sure what that is, but it could be important for some reason or another. You'll also notice that there are some very large chains laying across the map. You imagine that those wouldn't have been drawn there if it needs something. It's not, necessarily like the artist would just draw random things. You also see a large Sarlacc pit. Reference. You'll see some caves. A cave with a face on it. You'll see a cave that leads into some sort of a crevice. You'll see wreckage on the map itself.
So I have a question about the map.
Okay.
As a ranger who's coming into additional knowledge based on my travels, what sort of terrain would I maybe guess that we would be encountering down here? Based on the map we're looking at.
Roll a survival. That's a difficult question to answer. Blasted, war-torn battlefield.
Blasted, war-torn battlefield. Okay.
That's probably what you would get. There is no terrain that would offer you a the closest you could probably get to a real world would be desert.
I'll operate on that then. That's a reasonable. Okay.
Yeah.
So my next natural explorer one then will be desert. It's a good enough guess.
I mean, yeah, you could. Ooh, actually, hold on a second. Something I want to look at real quick, because I think this might play into what you're talking about.
Between like desert, swamp, mountain kind of thought process based on this map that we're looking at.
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, it's not Arctic, it's not the coast.
No.
It's not grassland, so it doesn't leave much else.
Sorry, I'm reading something. So as a dungeon master and a attempt to be creative, I'm going to break some rules and modify some rules for this particular situation. I feel that this is an opportunity for me to do so, so I'm going to do so. You are a Horizon Walker archetype of Ranger. So you are a planar warrior, and you can detect portals as part of your Ranger subclass.
Magic within me.
Yes, the Natural Explorer subtype for this says in it you are particularly familiar with one type of natural environment. but I believe due to your planar warrior capabilities that this is going to allow you to pick an unnatural type of thing. You can go ahead and pick Avernus as a favorite terrain for you. However, there are going to be some stipulations with this. While tracking other creatures, it says you also learn their exact number, their sizes, and how long ago they passed through the area. That will apply for you, but know that the difficulty class for this is going to increase due to the nature of the plane that you are on. When you forage, you find twice as much food as you normally would. I will let you know there is no foraging in Avernus. So that ability is going to be not there for you for this one.
Deleting that from the description.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you are traveling alone, you can move stealthily at a normal pace. I will allow that. I don't have a problem with that. Even when you are engaged in another activity while traveling, such as foraging, navigating, or tracking, you remain alert to danger. I'm going to say that this is pretty much a given. You are going to the first layer of hell, where demons and devils are at war with each other, so I'll allow that. Why not?
I mean, if we're going on this, it would only be for navigating and tracking.
Correct.
Because foraging does not exist.
I will also remove the stipulation, your group can't become lost except by magical means. That will not apply.
Okay.
I'm going to take that out of the Natural Explorer just due to the fact that the plane itself shifts and changes. So,
well, we're
It is
also
magical
looking.
means.
yeah, exactly.
We're also looking at a map that somebody went mad drawing, so
Correct,
it's
correct.
going to be open to interpretation anyway.
I'm going to put a caveat onto the difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel to
Okay.
difficult terrain doesn't slow your group's travel with DM approval. If there is a reason why I believe that this specific type of terrain in Avernus would slow your group, you will have to accept that that will apply.
I'm putting in parentheses. Got it.
Okay. I think that
Making the addendums as you say them, so
yeah,
they're in here.
I think I can adjust that. I'm trying to allow you what I feel goes against the rules as written, which is natural, to making it some. I don't think
Rules
that
as
Avernus
invented.
is unnatural. To characters
Getting
from
a
the
lot
material
of-
plane. So I think taking out two things doesn't necessarily nerf that too much.
No, it's a lot of bonuses I wouldn't have had otherwise. We'd be completely blind down here, so at least now we have a chance.
Yeah,
so.
I can be okay with that. Not only with that, but you've spent some personal time researching the Nine Hells.
Yeah.
The planar warrior thing plays in here, so I think that's I'm okay with that.
It'll be fun.
Anybody else have any abilities that they've come across that they want to talk about potentially?
I
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead, Luke.
Luca.
I am not going to take Thief, and looking over the multi-class rules, I think I am going to actually choose Arcane Trickster.
Awesome. What'd you have, Jack?
Oh, I was gonna say to let you just a heads up. I did pick up Eagle as my next totem, so I can see up to 1 mile as if it were no more than 100 feet away from me. And dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on my perception checks.
Okay. That's the barbarian.
The Barbarian.
Barbarian. Let's see. So, at 6th level, you gain a magical benefit based on the totem animal of your choice. You can see difficult discerning fine details of looking something. Dim light doesn't impose disadvantage on your perception
figured being able to see things a mile away coming at us might be useful.
Yeah, I can see that. Something up real quick while you guys are looking at that. Can't look it up. All those monsters are in Mordekainen's and you have it.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I was using it for...
I was gonna ask what, if I had to guess at the sorts of creatures they are. Actually, I'm sitting in front of the internet. I'll just look it up.
I'm sorry, what specific...
I got this.
You
I got this.
Fiends.
Fiends?
Fiends.
Okay.
That's both the devils and the demons, I believe, are both fiends.
What about the Sybriax? Is that
that's
still...
a demon.
That's a demon.
That's
Okay.
a demon, not a devil. A demon, not a devil. It needs to be a
I
song.
just...
Somebody
I
help
get
me
a
write
new...
song. A demon, not a devil.
I get a new, favorite enemy. I've already got fiends, so...
I'm fairly certain.
I...
Large fiend demon. Those are all demons. Those are all demons. Demon shape changer. Demon. Wow. So fiend applies for both devils and demons.
Okay.
So, if there's questions about those particular things, then you can always ask.
No, it's fine. It's as far as the favorite enemy. I was trying to figure out if there was a different type that
Bless you.
would
So-
benefit me to research.
So, Jag,
Yes.
just so you are aware, there are some environmental hazards that exist within this particular realm that will impose disadvantages, not due to dim light.
Okay.
Okay. Just so you are aware, it's one of the things I'm like sitting here reading is like try to explain that this isn't like due to light. It's due to brimstone, sulfur, sandstorms.
Yeah.
Physical stuff in the air that can impact
Yeah.
your vision. So, ash. So, that is definitely something that might apply at some points in time. So, be aware. And an arcane trickster, huh?
Yep.
That sounds cool. You gain abilities, more spells.
Yeah, I get one more spell slot
Hey,
to the Warlock Firepower.
nice.
Ooh.
Good to go. Alright. Fiends and dragons. I did some research on dragons. You never know. I feel that if I had to speak to one, I'd have better odds of coming out alive now.
Yeah, there's not... I mean, you could, pick humanoids, I guess, because...
It's, I mean, you know.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to go talk to a dragon, but, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Of everything down there, it's the only other thing I read about. So...
Thank you for allowing me an opportunity to be a little creative with that skill.
Hey, thanks for giving me a little bit of a bonus where we're going.
I think it ties in very well to this particular story, so modifying things
only
in the
slightly less likely to die.
Modifying things, in my opinion, is one of the whole key components to Dungeons and Dragons. And like, I'm a DM, and I say this is a thing.
Looking for ways to say yes?
My
Woo!
rules, my game.
Yeah, but usually when it's your rules, your game, it's more fun.
Thanks. I appreciate that. That makes me feel good.
You look for a way for something to work, not look for the reasons why it doesn't.
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
A lot of the times I look for the other thing.
Alright.
Here's what I want to do.
I picked up. So, besides Mage Hand, I picked up Mending and Shocking Grasp.
Cool.
Now I'm looking at the wizard spells.
There's some good ones.
Unfortunately, my the spell save DCs and to hit are going to be the same since my charisma and intelligence are the same.
Hey, that's good.
So I won't have to look up different things. It's all the same to me.
It's all the same to me. Yeah, so being the research done by Luca on the map, you can get some general idea of some of the landmarks and have at least a familiarity with like where you might be going and what you might potentially be encountering.
Okay.
As well as with Robin's newfound knowledge of Avernus, and traveling along the plane itself might be a little easier.
Yeah, I mean, we're kind of going over everything once we're back in our rooms together. So I'll share what I learned about the creatures and kind of where I think they're gonna be on the map, just so he's got an idea what we're looking at too. And Jag, if you're in the room, just so we're all on the same page.
Oh, here's a picture of a Lemire devil. This is what the things.
Lemire.
These are the things that rise out of the river Styx.
Things are creepy here.
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
You know what these guys are here. That we probably want to avoid them. And these towers.
Miragon.
Oh, you didn't tell me that one.
The souls of fallen soldiers, mercenaries, and bodyguards who served evil without reservation often find everlasting servitude in the nine hells as Miragons. These faceless foot soldiers are the Hell's legionnaires, tasked with protecting the realm and its rulers against intruders. You can read up on a Nalfasheen. It's a demon from the abyss, the chaos abyss. I'm putting these also in your journal, so you should be able to see them.
Right.
You can learn up on a Nuperbiro.
Good lord.
Yeah. Let's see.
A real fatty.
Oh yeah. These pitiful creatures shuffle mindlessly across the landscape, blind, bloated from unquenching hunger, and groping for whether scraps of fetid matter or swarming vermin they can scoop up into their groaning mouths. Good guys.
Dandy folks.
Nikoloth. Yugoloth. Some type of demon. guys read about one of these, or at least you know about one of them. He's even going with you. A pit fiend. This is what Garoth used to be. Pit fiends are pretty high up there on the levels of demons. They are quite a ways up there. And then you guys have shadow demons. Come out of the shadow themselves. Let's see. You guys have met spined devils already, so I don't need to show you those. This is another Ugoloth. This is an Ultraloth. Ultraloth. Type of Ugoloth demon.
It's like if somebody removed the tentacles of a mind flare.
Oh yeah. That is an exceptionally dangerous creature.
Dangerous for him.
That is a dangerous creature. Then you can learn about the white Abashi. But I don't have a handout for an Abashi. That's messed up. Huh. Nope, don't have a handout for an Abashi. Oh, yes I do. There it is. A white Abashi. It's a type of devil. You can learn about a demon known as a Vrock.
Yuck.
Oh yeah, this is good stuff right here. These are all the things that you could come across in the hells.
I'm making notes.
Probably doesn't even scratch the surface.
A Mesoloth. No, not one of those. Ooh, you guys met one of these. An incubus.
I recognize that picture.
Yes, you should. Hezrao. Ooh, you learned
Legit, wasn't that the form that the incubus that Nottingham?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, okay. That's what I thought.
That was actually an Irene, but close. And then you can learn about the Hell Wasp.
I don't want to know. That's the one thing I don't want to know. Nope.
Nope, don't want to know about that. You sure?
Not. I do, but I don't. It's the one thing. That thing terrifies me more than any of the things you've shown.
Doesn't it? This
Blue
thing
wasp.
makes 2 stinging attacks. And, oh, no, it makes 2 attacks with its sword talons. This thing has deadly poison that can paralyze you.
See?
Then there's the Hellhound itself. The vicious hounds that roam the hells. Let's see. And then there's always the wonderful level Gandalf the Grey, from Gandalf Grey to Gandalf the Right, the Balor.
Kind of doom.
Yeah. He is pretty nasty. And then an Abyssal Wretch. Something from the Abyss. It's got a little chomper hand on its mouth, or its
Yeah.
chomper hand on the chomper mouth on the hand. Wow, I can talk, can't I? You guys have not seen a
Talk to himself.
horned devil.
Ooh.
Nor a bone devil.
Oh.
Nor an ice devil. These are all creatures that exist deeper into the hells, I'm sure you want to go there, right?
No, you know it.
Or Narzagoon. It's a paladin that has forsaken his oath and rides a nightmare.
Like,
Some of the devils and demons that you could potentially be encountering within the Nine Hills. Awesome stuff. I just completely flooded your poor player handouts.
I got it.
But you got lots of pictures now to check out. And cool
Lots of little
things.
notes. Lots of little notes that I'll have to take. Just, you know.
So, before we call it a night, is there... I mean, did you guys... Candlekeep's at your disposal before we call that.
I'm pretty
I
solid.
want to hear Jag's oath.
I typed one up while we were doing.
Did
so,
you?
Yep, I have an
Okay.
oath. So, if
Okay.
what happens tonight, I will go.
Okay. So you're gonna... So, the next morning? Or are you gonna do it tonight type of thing? You gonna do it the next day?
I told him I'd come back in the morning.
Okay. So the next day, you head back to Cotrix's lab, which you can find easily enough. Penn has classes, so he's not going to be able to escort you today.
I remember how to get there.
That's fine. Are the other party members going to go with you?
Oh, I'm
Maybe-
gonna tell Robin
Oh,
all
yeah.
about this. Like,
Yeah, that you're
interesting
taking an
halfling
oath? I gotta see this. I gotta be there. This is
who had some
important.
cool stories.
This is huge!
And I also want that oath copied and pasted into...
I have it typed up. I will.
Okay, thank you. Sweet. Awesome. All right. Then, as you come up to the door and knock on the door, the lower thing comes out, and you see the eyeballs looking. Oh, you're back. Oh,
I am.
It's Oath Day, isn't it? Squonk! The door like comes flying practically off of its hinges, and like
Dang.
Cotrix's eyes are like pretty big. And come in.
As I walk in, I'll be like, Cotrix, this is Robin. She's another one of our companions.
Oh,
Did Rhea follow us as well?
yeah, Rhea follows.
And Rhea.
Oh, greetings. Come in. There's something rather familiar about you. Cotrix points at Robin. Ah, never mind. Anyway.
Pull out the sword. I'll sit
Wait,
in the middle.
Wait. Come this way. It took me all night to prepare. I couldn't sleep after you left, but I hope this is okay. And he sort of leads you back to the back end of his laboratory where he had the large table, and there's a bunch of junk piled around. All the junk that was piled around the back area has been cleared out now, and there is a nice purple cloth laid over the table in front of him, and there's a metal sort of like holder on the table that would fit your great sword in it, and he's lit some candles there, and
So fancy.
I'll set the sword upon it.
you could kneel.
I'll kneel down.
He's like getting very excited.
I'll like close my eyes as I kind of reach up to like touch the blade. And I will say, I, Jagger Longstrider, swear to devote my life to protecting those in need against unjust rulers who use their power and wealth to only further their own agenda at the expense of their people's needs. I swear that laws and justice systems that protect those people will not interfere with the justice of my blade.
You swear your oath, and the blade itself starts to vibrate at the first words of you speaking this ability and this oath to the blade. It begins to emit a soft purple light in about 10 feet diameter around the blade itself. It begins to glow with this radiance, and you watch before your very eyes, and Cotrix is kind of like shoving himself up next to you to like watch as you're kneeling there next to him, next to the altar. You watch the words in the blade begin to form in Leonin. The exact words of your oath form in very teeny tiny golden runes down the blade itself. The blade shakes for a few more seconds, and then it thunk into the holder. The light goes thunk out. Do you feel like whatever happened? A soft voice speaks to you. Welcome.
Hello.
I require a name.
Like, it wants me to give it a name for it?
Correct.
Oh, shoot. I wasn't prepared. Now you got me. I gotta think of a name. I will say a name at the moment. The name is blah.
No. If you say that, I will have to think of a name. It will respond. This is acceptable. Please,
All right.
pick me up.
I'll pick it up.
Okay. You can now use your action to emit an aura of courage for 10 minutes. Creatures you choose that you can see within 30 feet gain a bonus to saving throws. This bonus equals your rage damage modifier. The creatures you choose also gain 15 temporary hit points. During this time, the sword emits a dim light purple in a 10-foot radius. It is also still a +1 sword. So this is the power of your sword. I will copy and paste it into...
It's really cool.
So it's like a paladin's aura of courage that gains the benefit of your rage damage modifier. So whatever that is, that's the plus that anyone within 30 feet of you would gain. It's a lot larger than the paladin's aura of courage, and the bonus, I believe, maxes out at 3, potentially 4, whatever your rage damage modifier gets up to.
4.
Okay, 4. I figured as much. I didn't want to base it off of any necessary stat like a paladin modifier was, but I did want to increase the range so that, because Robin's not always likely going to be within 10 feet of you, so.
Yeah, not usually.
Yeah. But it's creatures you choose that you can see. So that's also an interesting choice there. That I figured it was the way you've been playing your character. Keep in mind, I made up this ability as I was making up the sword tonight, so I hope it
I like
it is good.
It fits Jagger very well.
I thought it fit Jagger, and after hearing your oath, I'm glad that I had it pre-made and that this was what you went to. Since your oath is to protect others, the power that the blade gives you is the ability to protect others. The temporary hit points. And since I didn't word it too carefully, I want you to realize that you can choose yourself.
Because I'm like, it says creatures I can see. Technically, I can see myself.
You can see yourself.
Yes, you could choose yourself. Okay.
Should you choose? To clarify, also, is that 30 feet when I cast it?
When you use the action.
When I use the action. So if I in combat, let's say for whatever reason I move away from 30 feet from Robin after it's casted, does she still retain the benefits?
No, it's like an aura around you. So she would have to move with you. Okay. So it comes from the blade itself around you in a 30-foot. You know, that's the initial, I choose you, I choose you, I choose you. Try to stay within 30 feet of me. type of thing. But it's not like Sam's aura with his unicorn that he can just put down somewhere else. No, it stays and it moves
At the blade.
with you.
With you, yeah.
Yeah. So.
Oh boy, you guys.
Yeah, while you were doing Robin's bit, I was
good.
typing that up.
Good. Put that into chat for me, please, so that I can copy.
I did already in the Descent Discord chat.
Oh, okay. Okay, that's fine.
I already added it for you.
That's fine. Appreciate that. Don't worry, Luca. You haven't been left out. There are some things for you in El Terrell, but it's up to you to find them.
Because, well, I mean, I'm glad I caved for Arcane Trickster, because it actually pans out pretty well.
That's good. I have given a couple of magic items away, and Luca, you weren't here for for that time frame, so I feel a little bad. So I'm going to hopefully arrange it so that when you are here, the next magic item that drops will be kind of for your character to help you out there a bit. Technically, this could help 2 characters, but this one is for a character. Robin.
Alrighty.
I already have one.
I know.
But I just want to say I think it's fitting that his is down in Elturel. You have to go to hell to get yours.
He wanted to play the warlock that's...
I know, it's great.
To a fiend,
I like it.
So...
No, I know the bed that I made with this specific campaign. I also really like that I'm antagonistic towards, like, the main person of the campaign. It's like, you're a warlock sworn to a fiend, the one that's the rival to the person. It's like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. I want to work for the fake person.
When you came up with, like, contract, when you told me your character story, and I was looking for your patron, I thought that would be perfect, because the way you had described your character, I'm all like, I've got to give you this patron, like, like, your patron is such and such, and I know this is going to be great for Brendan. So
yeah.
Once I did my research on Avernus and Devils, I was all like, there's no other choice to me other than this guy. This is the one.
Sweet.
All right. But after you swear your oath and you take your blade back, Cotrix kind of, wow, that was spectacular. Would you mind if I got a rubbing of the blade before you leave? The runes. I don't know what language that is.
That would be my language of my people.
Oh, Leonin?
Correct. Before saying yes, I will mentally ask the sword if it's okay with that.
The sword says, this is acceptable.
And then I will grab it from my back. I just put it and, like, lay it back down on the table.
He gets some paper and he does a quick rubbing of the whole thing, the blade, and then he looks it up and he's like, thank you very much. This'll be very handy. I really appreciate that. And he puts it on the altar where you sworn the oath, and well, I certainly hope that the way it sounds is that you've got yourself a good oath, and it should be noted that I think this is the first time that one of these blades has ever had a good oath. So I hope you live up to it.
I hope so as well.
Well, if you don't...
If I don't, I won't live. Literally, I won't live up to it if I don't.
Yeah, that's the bad thing about an Obsidian Oath blade. But otherwise, it was really awesome to meet you guys. Thank you very much. If you make it out of hell, come back and see me, and I'll tell you... well, I'll tell you how I got out of Undermountain.
Deal.
You took the freeway, man.
Alright, so you guys head out of Cotrix's area, and you head back towards the keep. I don't know if anybody recognized Penn's token, but that was the original actor who played Friar Tuck in 1950s.
Oh, I thought it was one of the Three Stooges.
No,
I
it's the
thought it was
actor
one
that
of
played
the
Friar
Stooges,
Tuck
too.
in the original Robin Hood from 1950.
Oh, nice.
That's where I took that image from. Thank you very much, Google, for that. Appreciate that. Google also provided the next 2 tokens that you are going to see a wonderful artist. Hold on just a minute. I gotta remember their name. It's from ArtStation. D&D Monster Manual Tokens. Website's called ArtStation, and the artist is by the name of P. Mal. It's a freelance comic artist out of Mexico, it looks like. Mexico City and Mexico. Had some really great artwork on their website. Check them out if you get a chance. The next 2 tokens you guys are going to see are from that person. So, it's really cool stuff. I thought they were awesome. And very fitting. So, you guys head back to Sylvirus's?
Yes.
Yep. Let's do this.
Alright. Sylvirus had said earlier that she knows a wizard named Traxagor. Here, let me... because it's a really weird spelling. This is the person you're going to go see. As you knock on Sylvirus's door, she comes over. Oh, yes, you're back. Are you ready to leave now? Is it time to go?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. She closes the door behind you and ushers you to a crescent-shaped landing platform with a stunning view of the sea. Waiting for you atop this platform are several griffins with saddles, their handlers standing nearby to help you. The griffins have instructions to fly you to Traxtor's tower, says Sylvira. Don't worry, it's safe.
I'll give her back her book.
She takes her books. Thank you for that, by the way. The handlers standing
helps.
ready can help the characters mount the griffins. Each griffin can carry 1 rider plus gear. Are you all willing to mount the griffins?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. The griffins take flight and head out to sea, flying just below the clouds. Candlekeep looks no less majestic from the air, but grows smaller as the griffins begin to fly away. So, there is a handout for Candlekeep. Sorry. This is not the thing that I wanted. This is the thing I wanted. This is your view as you are leaving Candlekeep. Behind
Pretty.
you.
Nice.
Let's see. The Candlekeep looks no less majestic from the air, but grows smaller as the griffins soar westward. Large rocky islands pass below you, and beyond them lies the open sea. After a long journey, you see a windowless, doorless stone tower, which somehow floats on the sky ahead. The griffins pass through jagged holes, riddling the tower's conical peak to land on the top floor below, which has a spiral staircase leading down. Are you guys going to go down the staircase?
Yeah, if there's no one up here, then we'll go down.
There is no one up there. Okay. One level down, you see a cluttered chamber illuminated by various objects upon which continual flame spells have been cast. Scurrying around the room is an otter dressed in a tiny red cassock. Where is... Where's my handout? I had a handout for this.
Privyet.
I'm going to have to remake it. I'm sorry. I thought I had this. There we go. Ah. Sorry. Sorry to everybody at home. I got a little distracted by trying to find my token. And when I do that, I lose my place on the page. Let's see. The otter mumbles to itself in common, mentioning something about a tuning fork. Suddenly, it takes notice of you and stands upright. Lulu, wake up! Our guests have arrived! At the sound of her name, a small elephant with golden fur appears from under a pile of blankets near a table strewn with alchemical equipment. The elephant takes to the air on feathery wings and lets out a pleasing trumpet sound.
Luca's gonna have a Kill Bill moment where the sap from a tree is gonna really start pounding on him. No.
Let's recognize this winged elephant. You might have seen it once upon a time on a piece of bark in red.
No.
Jagger hasn't.
It's the prophecy. I'm so excited. It means something.
Track score is looking around. Listen, Sylvirus has communicated where you guys want to go. I'm just having a heck of a time finding the tuning fork. Do you guys think you could help me look?
Of course.
Please, each of you roll a perception check. If you would. Ooh, awesome.
Oh boy.
Hey, Luca, what's that in over there?
Hang on a second.
Appears to be a regular
Jag, roll
fork.
D100.
What?
Roll a D100.
Who?
2D10. You. Jag.
Me?
Yes, you. You find a scrap of cloth from an old banner. Robin, you find a tuning fork amongst a bunch of random junk, and you hold it up and you're like, is this it? Traxor, he comes over. Yep, that's the one. Are you ready to leave? Lulu's gonna go with you.
How fortuitous.
Awesome.
How big is this elephant? Like full-grown
Tiny.
elephant size?
Tiny.
Oh.
Like, that big around. Didn't you see the little reveal that I did?
I did. I just wasn't sure if that was a token you made or
Oh no, that it's not a token I made. It was that artist. But she is small, tiny.
Lulu, do you speak?
Of course I do.
Lovely. Pleasure making your acquaintance.
It's so good to meet you too.
I'm Luca Twardowski, if you're not omniscient.
She sticks out her trunk and tries to shake your hand.
I will endeavor to shake her trunkish hand as best I can as mortal dread just slowly seeps through me.
Aw, you're so kind. I like you already.
I endeavor to be courteous to all I meet.
I was with the Archangel Zariel when she assembled her army of Hell Riders to attack Avernus. Through the gate we went, tearing through the devils, like song through air. Victory was within our grasp until some of the Hell Riders betrayed us. They retreated through the grate and sealed it behind them. Before she was captured, Zariel told me to hide her sword so that it wouldn't fall into evil hands. Someone helped me hide the sword, but I don't remember who. We found a place to hide it, but I don't remember where. I escaped Avernus, but I don't remember how. Most of my memory is gone, and I don't remember why.
Perhaps that's to protect you and the sword's location.
That sounds logical. Gosh, you guys are going to be lots of fun.
Wonder if you escaped by taking a little dip without paying the fee.
I don't know what that means, but I like to swim.
Oh, swimming's a fun recreational activity. We shouldn't do it in Avernus, like, ever. That would be really bad.
I believe you, and I don't want to do bad.
That's great.
It is great. I think we're going to get along swell.
I'm so excited that we have her with us. Because I wrote down everything she does.
Oh.
So,
You wrote down everything she does?
I wrote down everything.
Traxgore, he gestures over. Well, are you guys ready to go?
If you're ready, I'm ready.
I'm as ready as I'm gonna be.
Yeah, I feel like that's gonna be a theme. Right then, let's do this.
Let's do this. As you stand together in a circle, Traxgore taps the tuning fork on the floor, and he casts the plane shift spell.
Luca would utter the family motto, Leroy Jenkins.
Jenkins.
And that is where we will end today's game. As you arrive in the city of El Terrell, you'll notice the picture on the map is a city torn asunder, burning bright in the Avernus sky. The clouds of sulfur, brimstone, and ash assault your souls. Hot, stinging air assaults your senses. The city street in which you stand is lined with buildings that are crumbling, if not already collapsed. The ground shudders beneath your feet. In the red smoke sky, a 400-foot diameter sphere of darkness discharges strokes of bluish-white lightning that strike the city at irregular intervals. Perched atop a distant bluff, overlooking the rest of the city, is a crumbling fortress. Traxgore gazes up at the black orb nervously, utters a few arcane symbols, and disappears in the blink of an eye.
Would crack my neck, roll my shoulders, and say, now we're where the magic happens.
Dun, dun, dun.
Whoa.
And that will conclude this episode of Descent into Avernus. We'd like to thank you all for joining us today. Please do us a big favor and smash that subscribe and like button, and be looking for our new outro coming from our very own Phoenix. She's actually already performed the outro. Now we just got to work it into our little broadcast, and we'll be good to go. Don't forget to have Rory, or the girlfriend, or another kid. Feel free.
For the record, Phoenix is our 8-year-old daughter, so it's going to be great.
It's going to be great.
She's so excited about it.
Remember to be safe out there in the world, and if you can be anything, be kind. We'll see you next time on Gear Gaming 365. Bye!
See ya!